Well, August is Rural Broadband Month, and a U.S. senator from West Virginia is working to accelerate the development of high-speed internet through rural communities. Joining us now to discuss the effort is Senator Shelly Moore-Capito, joining us on the phone from West Virginia. Thank you for joining us this morning, Senator. We certainly appreciate your time. So to get things started, why is improving rural broadband one of your top priorities? Senator, appears like we're having some technical difficulties, so we'll give that a try once again.
Can you hear me now?
Whoop, there we have. We have a connection. Thank you for joining us, Senator. We certainly appreciate your time. A little blip in technology there for us. So why is improving rural broadband one of the top priorities for you?
Well, if you look across the country, and certainly a state like West Virginia and many of our rural areas, we're either unserved or underserved. The statistics back that up. My state's 48th in broadband deployment. And what I've learned in the course of my Capito Connect initiative, which is to connect rural America to broadband, that this has implications across economy, agriculture, healthcare, education, tourism. It really holds people back and creates that digital divide that we've talked about really exists. And so we've got to figure out a way, and that's what I've been working on with a lot of other people, to close the digital divide.
Tell us about your two notable pieces of legislation related to rural broadband.
Well, the first piece of legislation is with Kirsten Gillibrand, a senator from New York. Now, you would think, oh, New York and connectivity, but a lot of New York, upstate New York, is rural, and they have the same issue that we have in rural America. So we put forth a bill that would help us, working through the USDA, create the B Crop Act, which would make sure that those rural utility services funds that USDA grants out, that it would include and focus more on the unserved and unserved areas and the high poverty areas or the high rural areas of the country for more grants. So that's the one act. The other is the GO Act, which this is my effort to try to spur investment in those areas, because people say, why don't you have broadband? Well, it's not an economic model that works for a lot of the providers. So let's use some incentives at the federal level that can work to target those areas, to work to bring about the deployment and make it more marketable for certain providers.
Senator, you recently also hosted FCC Chairman Ajit Pai in West Virginia. Would you tell us about his visit as well?
Well, the chairman, Ajit Pai, has become a good friend of West Virginia. He's a native Kansan, rural Kansas, so he understands the challenges. And we've taken him to several rural areas of the state to show him what an impact better and bigger broadband deployment will mean. And so he's focused in his first 6 months of office. He's created a rural broadband delivery caucus. He has visited rural states like West Virginia. He's seen what it can do in a positive way for businesses. And so I think he has been a huge and will be a great leader here. He also is trying to look to make sure that the universal service funds are directed towards unserved and underserved areas, and he's asking for the accountability that we've been asking for also in the Senate.
All right. Well, Senator, thank you very much for taking the time to visit with us this morning. We appreciate your insight. United States Senator Shelly Moore-Capito on the phone with us from West Virginia. Well, meteorologist Tim Ross is standing by, and he's got the latest update to your weather forecast at 10 past the hour.